Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good October. By the time you see this, it'll be Friday slash Thursday night. So my birthday was yesterday, which is Wednesday. And today I went to the spa. It was very nice. I got my body scrubbed. I feel like a new woman. It was very nice, very relaxing. Um, so yeah, if you ever are near a king spa, highly recommend it. So we're down to the top three for my favorite movies. We're at number three, so we're almost done. I kind of wish that I had did my favorite scary movies. If I had known I would be in to October, but I kind of just did this randomly. I didn't really plan it out. So yeah, definitely will plan it out better. Maybe next year I will do my favorite horror movies leading into October. But I am sharing shorter videos about horror movies. So yeah. Okay, so my number three favorite movie is Memoirs of a Geisha. It's an epic period drama. It's based on the 1997 novel of the same name by Arthur Golden. It tells the story of a young Japanese girl, Chio Sakamoto, yeah, who was sold by her impoverished family to a geisha house called an okiya to support them by training as and eventually becoming a geisha under the pseudonym Sayuri Nita. The film centers around the sacrifices and hardships faced by pre-war World War II geisha and the challenges posed by the war and modernizing world to geisha society. And it was released December 9th, 2005. It's directed by Rob Marshall, which I meant to look up what else he directed, but I forgot. But I think he's directed a lot of things. So the cast is Ziyi Zhang as Chio Sakamoto slash Sayuri Nita. There are people who play her as the young person and as the voice narrator, but I'm going to skip them. Ken Watanabe as chairman, Ken Awamura, if I said that right. Michelle Yeoh as Mameha. Gong Li as Hatsumomo. Koichi Yakuzo as Nobu. And Kaori Momoy, I hope that's right, as Kayoko, Mother Nita. Yuki Kudo as Pumpkin. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Oh, and then Sayuri slash Chio's sister, Samantha Fuderman as Satsu, and then their dad is Mako as Mr. Sakamoto, and Elizabeth Sung as Mrs. Sakamoto. Koto Kawamura as Grandma Nita. Sai, I hope that's how I say it, Chin as Auntie. Kari Hirayuku Togawa as the Baron. Kenneth Sang as the General. And then there's Hatsumomo's friend Eugenia Yuan as Corinne, and then Carl Yuen as Koichi, which is her lover. Who else is important? Dr. Crab, Randall Du Kim as Dr. Crab. So that's all I'm gonna say, because there's a couple more, but you can always look it up. And where you can stream it, you have to buy and rent from all of these places: Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Vudu, Google Movies and TV, or YouTube. Or if you're like me and you actually have the DVD that is not in storage, you can just watch it for free. So I'm gonna get into my pros and my cons and my overall opinion, and I wrote a little story for this movie. Okay, so my pros are the characters and the acting. I think everyone did an amazing job acting as their characters and with their motivations. It felt very real. It didn't feel like they were pretending to be these people. It felt like they were in character for real. They were really giving it their all. especially Gong Li and Sayuri. Um, I will say, uh, ZZ Zhang, she is a great actress. And I know we're supposed to hate Hatsumomo, like I said in my short video, but Gong Li really did a good right, really did a great job portraying her. Um, I think everybody did a great job as their characters. Yeah. And the cinematography slash the scenery, it was just such a beautiful movie with the cherry blossoms. I forgot what it's called, but she's walking. She's like as a little kid, she's running through these like archways and they're like orange. I forgot what it's called. It's like a famous monument. And then when she goes to like the temple to pray, it's just everything's just so beautiful. The way that they look, um, their costumes, everything looks great. Especially Hatsumomo. And when Sayuri does her dance as her debut as a geisha, it was really really nice. Um, the hair, everything looked great. Everything was pretty beautiful to me. The story, I felt like the story was really great, um, especially like because back in those days you couldn't really like decide to be a geisha, so everybody pretty much made like the most um, of the life that they were placed in. Because now you can decide if you want to be one, and you actually have to go through like middle school, um, at least go through middle school, if not high school. I think you can decide after middle school if you want to be a geisha. Um, but these women, they didn't have a choice back then, and I've read a couple. I've read at least one like real life geisha like biography and like seen the pictures, and it's really interesting. I need to reread it. But back then they didn't have a choice, but they basically made the most out of what they had going on, and they couldn't find love. And one interesting part of the story is, I'm gonna spoil a little bit. So Hatsumomo, gets upset that Sayuri gets adopted because her Misuwake, which is like her virginity selling ceremony, gets so much money that the mother of the house, Mother Anita, decides to adopt her. Um, and instead of Pumpkin, so Hatsumomo is kind of like feels like she's not on top anymore, and she only wants to be on top. Which I feel like back then it was probably the best to be on top. I don't think it. I don't think it's as competitive now, probably, because I'm sure everybody's probably at the same level, or at least when you're apprentice and when you're apprentice and when you're a Maiko, which is apprentice geisha, and then you're a geisha. I'm sure there's like nothing. And I guess it's because there's like not as many left. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna assume it's not as competitive as it was before. Um, but she, okay, but yeah, she gets upset, so she finds Sayuri's like handkerchief, the chairman, and then she kind of like tries to burn the okiya down, and then when Sayuri sees Hatsumomo like on the street, like as she escapes, she's like, I could be her. And it's really interesting because she potentially could be her, because nobody picked to be in this life, and to be upstage, it was like a big deal because you want to secure your own future. You know what I mean? Oh, and the music is so nice. It's so relaxing. I actually bought some of the music like back when I first saw it. I can't remember if it was the same year it came out. Um, is when I got the music. I mean, well, when I originally saw the movie, I can't remember if it's when it first came out. Um, but the music is so nice. I think they won an Oscar for that and costuming. I'm not 100%. Double check that. But they deserved it because the music was really good. So I do have some cons. Number one, the most obvious one, is having Chinese actresses instead of Japanese actresses. Now I'm not sure about the men, but I know the women. It was highlighted that the main actresses were not Japanese, and representation definitely matters. They were all great actresses, but of course, it could have been a more accurate like portrayal with actual Japanese women, and it could have been a sorry, and it could have been like a way to give like some Japanese actresses like some recognition. I think I know at least Michelle Yeoh and no, I think all of the ZZ Zhang, Michelle Yeoh, and Gong Li. I think they all have acted with each other before. I think it was I forget what the movie's called. It was something with dragon in it, but I can't remember what it's called. But I feel like they were pretty. I feel like they're pretty established, at least starting to be established. But I feel like they definitely had some kind of careers, so it could have been like a nice opportunity, to showcase some new Japanese actresses. I'm not sure about the men, like I said, um, but I know like that was a huge controversy and kind of still is, like when you think about the movie. And then my second con is the reason that Chio slash Sayuri became a geisha. So when she meets the chairman, I'm like spoiling a couple things. She meets the chairman as a child, and he's very nice to her. He buys her like a snow cone. I forgot what they call it, but it's like I think they call it sweet ice. It's like a snow cone basically. Um, and she's so happy. He gives her money, and she wishes to see him again, and she decides she wants to be a geisha so that she can be around him again. And when I looked this up, y'all, she was like 9 when they met, and he was 45. That's crazy. 36-year age gap. And I'm not gonna say anything negative on Sayuri's side because she really didn't have anything else to live for, to like aspire to because her sister left. But I will say one thing about Sayuri slash Chio. She didn't want to like get the money and get the recognition so that she could find her sister. Like, but no, she wanted to chase after this very already grown man. That's crazy to me. But I can understand. She's a child. He showed her kindness. But on the chairman's side, sir, you're 45. And he was talking to her on the bridge like, oh, my kids love this. That means he had kids potentially that were her age or, you know, older, younger, somewhere in that range, right? That's weird. That's creepy. Um, but for the most part, for Sayuri, I don't blame her, um, because he did show her kindness, and that was like one of the few people who were kind to her. You know what I mean? But I didn't like that. That was the only reason why she wanted to be a geisha. Was like, oh, so I could have him again. And it's like, girl, you don't want to find your sister. You don't want to have a stable lifestyle. You don't want to have a home. Like, you just want to get with a man. I mean, I know a lot of women want to get with a man, but I mean, still, like, especially at 9 years old, like, anyway. So my last con is it's a little petty, but I feel like it's also a major plot point. So this is Pumpkin's revenge. So Pumpkin wanted to be adopted by Mother Nita of the Okiya, right? But Mother Nita knew if she did adopt her, then Hatsumomo would just control her and would just kick everybody out and just, try to rule over everyone. And Pumpkin really wanted to be adopted. She wanted to have a home. And I get that, but that's not Sayuri's fault. Why are you getting revenge on her? Why don't you get revenge on Mama Nita? She's the one who adopted her. Sayuri can't adopt herself. Like, that's crazy to me that she really was like pissed off about that. Like, something that you can't. I mean, I know that was part of the plan, Mameha and Sayuri's plan, but that wasn't on Sayuri. Um, if she got adopted or not, that's just crazy to me. So it's like a major thing, but I also feel like it's like that was so petty of her. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, she didn't adopt herself. That just annoyed me, and especially if you're watching the movie. Like, girl, you mad about that? I don't have no control over that. But anyway, let's go over my overall opinion. Of course, 10 out of 10 per usual. It's one of my favorite movies. Duh. I think the visual style of this movie, the story, and the character slash acting really makes this movie stand out. I think it would have been great, like I said, to have actual Japanese actors portray Japanese people. Um, I will say I'm not really sure what the reasoning for was this. Maybe they wanted big names on the project, and so that's what they did. That might have been a reason. Um, but proper representation does matter. Um, and I think despite this, the story is very well told. I know critics said that it was more visually appealing than it has substance, but um, I think it balanced out pretty well. I felt like it balanced out, talking about these different women's lives and showing off how visually appealing being a geisha was, and the world of geisha, and like what you wear, what how you makeup is. I feel like it balanced it. You know what I mean? Um, and if you really want to know more about geisha, please do your own research. And some of these things in the movie modern geisha don't do anymore. And also the plural of geisha is geisha, so it's not geishas. Even though I said that in one of my videos, it's supposed to be geisha. But I didn't feel like re-recording it because I recorded that short like 3 times. But yeah, please do your own research because some people still, from the movie, think that some of those things are still happening with geisha now, and it's really interesting. I understand that Mizuage was like a major plot point, but for some reason, it just makes some people assume that geisha are just sex workers, which I don't think anything is wrong with sex workers at all. But that's not what they do. Uh, but yeah, but some people just took that one part, even though it was, I mean, it was a major point, but then they just like made a whole entire assumption about what geisha do. Even though she's going to school, she's going to the geisha school to dance, she's on the shami, how do you say it? Sami-san, the little, I don't want to call it the guitar, but you know what I mean. It's like a little string instrument you pluck. It's like a guitar, a ukulele. You know what I mean. It's like she did so many other things. She would entertain at the tea house, you know. But for some reason, people took that and was like, shoot. And I also loved researching this on my own. And I think being a geisha is a beautiful profession. And I hope it can last for many more years. When I looked this up, I think there's only like 1,000 geisha left. Um, because probably people want to do more modern things, but I still feel like it's a really beautiful thing, and we do have a lot of footage. We have a lot of autobiographies. We have a lot of media about geisha. So I mean, it won't be lost forever, but I would hope that it would keep going. But uh, you know, something that's been around for so long, it might not always be around, unfortunately. So that's just the sad part. So yeah, that's what I think about Memoirs of a Geisha. And I wrote a little story. So I originally wrote a fan fiction based off of like what happened to Hatsumomo after she left, and this is kind of going to be in the middle of it, so I'm going to explain a little bit of the backstory. I'm going to change a lot though, but I wrote it on fanfiction.net. I don't remember my account, but the story is called Hatsumomo's House. In this chapter, I haven't given it. I haven't decided if I'm gonna. All right, so I got a call, so I'm gonna have to clip these 2 clips together. I hope I have enough space on my phone, cause I don't like it when people interrupt me when I'm in the middle of my video. But anyway, here we go. So basically, I was saying I called it Hatsumomo's House, and so I'm gonna change a lot. Not a lot. I'm gonna change a few things. So so now she's a madam. If you don't know what a madam is, it's a female pimp, essentially. So she's gonna open her own brothel and change. Of course, her reputation is ruined where she was at because she tried to burn down the okiya. But she's gonna build a whole new life for herself. She's gonna have. I'm gonna make them 3 teenage girls. Before I had 2 teenage girls and some kids, but then when I researched like Orin, which they don't really exist even in that time period as much. It's more like geisha, who are entertainers. Of course, they don't do sex work, but Orin is just basically a fancy sex worker, like very high class, expensive, very special. She does dances. She does all the same not, I won't say all the same, but very similar things to Geisha, but you just have sex with her. That's it. And then they have more ornate hairstyles and, more colorful clothing. And what I researching it, um, even though it's not that she's not going to be an official Orin, one of the characters, but the young kids were just servants. They didn't do anything. And then, thinking about it, I'm like, do I want to write about the kids doing anything? I don't. Um, but granted, the teenagers are also technically children, but it says in the 1930s or the 1800s, whatever. I forgot the year that Memoirs of Geisha was supposed to be set in. But basically, you get what I'm saying. It was very, very different. But I'm gonna make one of the younger kids a teenager, so I'm gonna have, or like a preteen. I'm gonna have three. So there's one American girl who her parents leave her in Japan because they don't have enough money to get back home with her, which is messed up. Her name is Tammy, and they call her Tammy Chan. Which Tammy Chan, if you put Chan on something, it's like an endearing nickname, basically. Like I guess like sweetie, or like basically it's something that somebody you're familiar with, like your friend, your child, kind of like mijo, mija for in Spanish, my daughter, my son. Kind of an affectionate thing. And then they have Choi, who's also a teenager. They're both the same age. And I'm gonna make Atsuko. Um, she was like a younger kid. She was like 8, but I'm gonna age her up to like 12 or 13, or maybe keep them all three teenagers because Tammy and Atsuko don't like each other. So then I was like, oh, if they're all teenagers, they can have like this little rivalry thing going on, like in Memoirs of Geisha. So I was like, maybe I could do that. And then I have twins. Their name is Kai and Kichi, I think. And I think I will keep them young, but they'll be like servants and they'll be watching the girls, and learning. So that's a little backstory. So basically, and Hatsumomo feels like the mother of the house. And so she treats them all like her kids, basically. Even though, she's selling her children. You get what I'm saying. So, this chapter is called Reunited. So I'm going to read it. And it's in Tammy's perspective. Oh, and there's also Koichi in the story. As you remember, Koichi was her lover. And they're gonna, as the title say, be reunited. So I kind of spoiled my own story. But you get what I'm saying. But Tammy's dating Koichi Jr. So I might have to edit this and change it so you know it's a junior. But you'll see when I talk about it. So here it goes. As Koichi was feeling all over my body and kissing me, my guard was completely down. I was so ready for him to enter me when I heard the shed door slide open. I looked up at Mother, that's Hatsumomo, with her bamboo stick tightly in her right hand and rage in her eyes. Koichi got off me and we both backed up. What's going on here, Tammy-chan? You think you're so clever and rebellious. I told you there's nothing you can do that I haven't already done. How dare you? You have completely lost your mind. Mother's eyes were piercing through me. I was so scared, and if I was confident I could run past the tiny space she left between her and the door frame, I would have ran for my life. I didn't know what to say. Answer me, Tammy. Who is this boy? She raised her bamboo stick as I curled up into the fetal position. Koichi spoke up. This is Koichi Jr., y'all. I'm sorry, ma'am. This wasn't Tammy-chan's idea. It was mine. I'm Koichi. Please don't hurt her. I picked up at Mother through my eyes, and she had put down the stick, then seemed to be examining Koichi's face. Koichi. She kept staring at him. I uncurled and stammered, Please, Mother, I can explain. I'm sorry. She just kept staring at Koichi. Then we heard footsteps come from the side of the garden. Mother turned her attention in that direction. Junior, where are... Oh! A man's voice came from that direction. Mother dropped the bamboo stick and looked shocked. She was staring at whoever the man was that was walking closer. Wow, you're still so beautiful, Hatsumomo. I know this place is named after you, but I thought it would be too much of a coincidence. He laughed. Trying to do a man laugh. The man was in view right next to Mother, who was still speechless. That's my dad, Koichi whispered to me. Oh, shit. So we're both gonna be in trouble for sure, I whispered back. In all these years, I thought I would never see you again. My Koichi. Mother and Koichi. Oh, I skipped a one. Mother put her hands out on Koichi Sr.'s shoulders. In all these years, I thought I would never see you again. My Koichi. Mother and Koichi Sr. embraced tightly. They hugged for a few minutes and both cried. They seemed like happy tears, though. I was very confused and was hoping this reunion will hopefully save me from a beating. Yes, I tried. Oh, I keep skipping lines, y'all. Here we go. I'm going back up. Seems our kids take after us, huh? Sneaking around. Koichi Sr. looked at Koichi and sucked his teeth. Yes, I tried to tell my daughter I know every trick in the book. Mother picked up the bamboo stick again. She tapped my foot with it. Bad girl, you and Junior go into the kitchen. Put on the kettle. Koichi and I have some catching up to do. And don't think you're off the hook yet. Now you both go and don't do anything but put that kettle on. She moved out of the doorway. And Koichi and I think I'm supposed to. Oh, for Koichi and I to go into the brothel. We jumped up and ran inside. Oh shit, Koichi. I hope Mother will be in a good mood for a while. I don't want to get beat. I guided him to the kitchen while holding his hand. So this is Atsuko. She's coming in. She's the one that they don't like each other. Evil Atsuko saw us in the kitchen and looked confused. Feel free to gloat. I got caught. I know you want to, I said, putting water into the kettle. She smirked. You brought him in with you. You must not be in that much trouble. That's too bad. Tammy-chan, you're always so lucky. She rolled her eyes. So this is Koi. That's Tammy and Koi are like best friends in the brothel. And, you know, everybody's like siblings. Koi-chan. Koi-chan rushed into the kitchen and looked even more confused. Hi, Koichi. You're inside? She asked him. Our parents know each other. My dad followed me, and when we got caught by your mother, he came right after she found us. I can't believe this. He rubbed his temple. How the hell you keep getting so lucky, Tammy? You must be a witch. Atsuko came up to me and stared me down. You would know. You're the biggest witch I know. I could stand here all night. I squinted my eyes at her. Mother came in to separate us and hit my leg with the bamboo stick. I rubbed my leg in pain. Now, girls, we have a guest. Please bow to Koichi Sr. He was my lover in my past life. We all bowed to Koichi Sr. and he bowed to us as well. No need for special treatment. I am just a normal guy. Your mother is an infamous geisha and madam. The pleasure is all mine. Please sit and have tea. He kissed Mother's hand before pulling out her chair. I got a towel and put the kettle in the middle of the table, then put the tea bags next to it. I had to Google when tea bags were made so that it would be like accurate. So they were made then. Okay, here we go. Senior, please pardon my curiosity, but I bet Mother mesmerized you with her beauty and talent, no doubt. I said as I got the teacups out of the cabinet. When I turned around, Mother was glaring at me. Of course, she still got both. And you, Tam-chan, seem to be turning out to be like her. How admirable, Senior replied. A little too much. Mother grabbed my hand as I finished putting the teacups down. You sit here, and don't object. She pointed to the seat next to her. Yes, Mother. I sat down. I was very afraid of what was going to happen next. Mother poured water for everyone, then sat back down. So every day you seem to leave something outside, huh? Maybe your marbles. Mother squeezed my leg. I just rubbed my neck awkwardly and drank my tea while trying to avoid eye contact with Mother. You know, ever since my wife passed away, Junior has been very rebellious. Say that 5 times fast. Maybe I didn't talk to him enough. Senior rubbed his son's shoulders and hugged him. Sorry, Dad, Koichi sighed. Mother, I'm sorry too. I was hoping that would help ease my beating later. I didn't have high hopes, but I figured it was worth a shot. Mother put her arm around me. Oh, you will be, she whispered. But for now, we're going to have a nice tea time and catch up. I found out how long this has been going on, she said out loud. Koichi and I made eye contact. Well, it's been a little while. Not too long, right, Koichi? I answered. Koichi said, oh, not too long. No, not too long. Koichi sipped on his tea. I know the truth, but I'll give you time to tell it. Give you time to tell it, Tammy-chan. Mother cut her eyes at me. Everyone leave your teas and go to your rooms. Junior, you go to the parlor. You and Tammy-chan are not to see each other until your dad and I figure out what to do with you both. I want to catch up with him in private. We all did as we were told. Senior and Mother watched Koichi and I like hawks. Koichi could only wink at me as we parted. I smiled at him. Troy grabbed my hand and hurried us to our rooms. I wondered what the future held for me and Koichi and Mother and Senior, and if I would see the bamboo stick again or not. So yeah, that's my little fanfic. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want to start over from that point. I feel like that would be cute, like reminiscing to the Memoirs of Geisha series, and then to Hatsumomo's future, and then going into like how everyone got there and stuff. Because my original fan fiction, I talked about how everybody got there. I talked about Hatsumomo talking about what she did after she left the brothel. But I feel like maybe we just jump into it and then get the backstory on the way. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. So I do this all the time. I just restart a bunch of stories all the time. I just do that, y'all. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Do you like Memoirs of Geisha? Let me know. Did you hate it? Let me know. Did you think it was just beautiful and no story? Let me know. If you want, it would be nice to have some engagement, you know. But yeah, so next week and the week after we'll be in the top 2. Next week I will be out of town, but I'm still gonna try to like upload it, keeping my schedule going. So we'll see how that goes, y'all. Hopefully the hotel I'm in has good Wi-Fi. We'll have no problems. We'll see what I decide. So yeah, I will see you all next week.